I'm Hersha Chellaram, and I make sure yoga is accessible to Hong Kong's most disadvantaged communities. And this is why you should listen to me.
So tell me a little bit about what you do.
Basically, I'm a yoga teacher, but not the kind of yoga teacher that's going to twist you up into impossible poses. I teach yoga to people with special needs and disabilities.
Your foundation, Yama, what inspired you to create this organization?
That would be my little niece, Italia.
Okay.
She was born with a rare genetic disease called mitochondrial disease. She was tiny, and the doctors told my sister-in-law to just love her and enjoy her because they didn't know if she was going to make it to her first birthday. My husband's side of the family, they're all yoga teachers. Mm-hmm. And we decided that first and foremost, we were going to teach her yoga. Not the bendy kind, she's a tiny little fragile baby.
How do you teach a baby yoga?
We started with the non-physical side of yoga. A lot of mantras and breathing, and there are techniques. I had a book on my shelf called Yoga for the Special Child.
Okay.
I pulled it out, and it is teaching yoga to babies and children with special needs, and I copied the techniques in the book.
And she's still with you today?
Of course, she is. You know, some of the interesting things with my sister-in-law would bring her to her medical appointments, and the doctors would do the blood work and look at the paper and say, on paper, she shouldn't be doing so well, but looking at her, she's doing amazing. Whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it.
And how old is she now?
She's going to be 12 at the end of this month.
That's great to hear. How does yoga benefit all these people and should actually benefit these people?
I think one of the biggest ones is helping with emotional resilience and self-regulation. I mean, the biggest difference I see with these different communities is that they feel so much happier being in their bodies, more comfortable living the lives that they are.
Tell me, like, the times where people come with you with all different kinds of bodies and you figured out, yes, I needed to do something than teach more than the everyday yoga.
One of my first yoga classes I taught, I was in New York City substituting for a yoga teacher.
Okay.
And in walks a woman with a wooden leg. I panicked. I went up to her in the middle of before the class started, and I said, I'm really sorry, but I don't know how to teach you because I've not been equipped. Mm-hmm. And she smiled and laughed. She's been practicing yoga since the 1960s. Mm-hmm. And since then, just the people that walked in, oh, I've had a stroke, can you help me? I've had a heart attack and I'm scared to go into a regular class, can you help me? And it was through this I started to see this is actually something that's really needed.
Hersha, I want you to tell me about a class that you've taught that you won't forget about.
I've been working with a young lady who has quadriplegic cerebral palsy.
What is that?
Basically, she has no motor control over her limbs.
Okay.
She had some sort of an accident during her delivery process, which left her with some brain damage. And so her motor control is very impaired, and she needs two assistants to help her live. She cannot live independently. So we've been practicing yoga, I think, since 2013. And she's grown up with me through her teenage years. And so one of the things that we were doing was a full spinal flexion, where she could just tuck in and bend her whole body like this.
Okay.
And today was the first day that we were able to get her into the full pose, and that is 6 years in the making.
Is there any advice that you would share to young females who want to make an impact on their communities?
Every experience leads you here. And no matter what your skill set is, you can make meaningful impact in the community. And it's not about being disheartened because people will tell you initially you can't do it. And it's about taking that and finding out, okay, well, what are those reasons why they're so fearful? Those are obstacles. And getting a little bit of grit and going for it anyway, not being afraid to fall flat on your face. Anyone can make meaningful impact, whether you're a hairdresser or a yoga teacher or somebody in finance, it doesn't matter.